It's been a week, a productive week. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right to all the things that I accomplished and the things I didn't. Hi, I'm Stacy from Stacy Creates Stuff, and this is my weekly vlog where I catch you up on what I've been doing in the past 7 days. So last Sunday, I was playing around with a block design and I wanted to try it out. And I scaled it for two different sizes, an 8-inch block and a 12-inch block. And I thought I'd start with making the 8-inch version because 1-inch finished squares are so fun. I gathered some fabric and here I am cutting and also marking down how I cut, like what size of a strip I cut off of something. And I had picked the background, which is what I was previously cutting, and then this was going to be the light fabric. And I had chosen a lovely medium and then a darker tone. So it used 3 fabrics plus a background. And the medium fabric, the way it was folded, you could really see those darker bits, and then most of it was lighter. So this was going to be the new lighter fabric. So I had to recut all the things that I just cut with what was originally the light fabric, and now was going to be the medium. So I had to go back and cut those too. This is the dark fabric. Anyhow, as it all works out. But here's the finished block, and here are the leftover pieces. It's kind of like an IKEA situation where in the end you still have all this bag of nuts and bolts that didn't seem to go anywhere. But that's okay. So I'm going to be doing more videos about that, and we'll see. Anyway, that's an upcoming project that I'm designing. So the next part of my day, this may have been the next day, I needed to make some tea towels because I had some orders for some tea towels. These were very specific tea towels. When they say niche down in a market, you really can't get more niche than this tea towel is really only appealing to students and alumni of a certain university. So that's my niche. In this particular tea towel, not all my tea towels are this niche. So this is my Pallas Athena tea towel. It has 4 lanterns in the 4 different class colors, and then the song lyrics in ancient Greek written out. They're not using Greek letters, it's the phonetic translation of those. So then once I got all the tea towels sewn, then I needed to package them up so they would be ready to go. And then I spend some time folding my little tea towel. These are folded slightly different than my other tea towels, just so that you can see part of the lantern. And then I have a tag that I printed out and cut on my Cricut. And it has 2 slits so that I can slide the nice wide Grosgrain ribbon through. And then I use double-sided tape, my handy-dandy ATG tape gun, to stick those 2 ends together. And then I just reposition the seam, as it were, the little taped over seam, so it's underneath the tag. So it all looks so pretty. And that is how I package up my tea towels. There's still a lot of organizing to do in my sewing room, but I did manage to make some headway in prepping for further organization. Then, to continue with my rather productive week, I decided to, at long last, hang the IKEA pegboard that's been sitting in my office for, I don't know, 4 months. And I found these nifty hooks that poke into drywall. They hold 100 pounds each. So it was going to be plenty for hanging this pegboard. And it worked. It worked. So I used those same hooks to hang my thread rack as well a few weeks ago. So they are great. I will leave a link in the description. You can get them on Amazon, and highly recommend. They leave a teeny tiny little hole in your wall that's really easy to cover up should you ever decide to move whatever it is that you are moving. Not the only thing that I got on Amazon. I got this lovely power strip that clamps onto your table. It has regular outlets as well as USB. And I was determined this week to cross something off that unfinished project list. Since last week I had made the binding for the placemats, I decided to sew it on. Figured it was a pretty low-key thing to do, and indeed I only needed to bind 2 placemats. I had a third placemat that was all done, so now I have 3 finished placemats. Yay! Riding the high of finishing the placemats, I decided I was going to tackle machine quilting this quilt. And by machine quilting, I don't mean long arm. I mean I'm going to do it on my domestic machine. So first up, I looked at the backing, which turned out to not be a backing, but was some sort of bag? I don't know. I guess that's now another unfinished project, except I have no idea really what it was going to be, so maybe it's just going to become fabric again. But it wasn't enough fabric to be the backing for this quilt. So luckily, I had a fabric that was used in the quilt, and I had enough yardage to make the backing. After watching about, I don't know, a dozen or so YouTube videos on how to prepare your quilt for quilting on a domestic machine, I decided to go the pin basting method with safety pins, mostly because I had safety pins. And, well, let's just say the results were not great. And that saga is going to be a video all unto itself. And when I wasn't doing all those other things, I was stitching on my random rail fence quilt. So I have gotten some more decorative stitches, some that are in the midst of still being stitched. And I also added these little hexies, which I think just add a nice little pop of color. I hand stitched them down, appliqued them on, and I'm going to embroider through them or on them or around them or something. So this corner is coming along quite nicely. That's almost done, as is this corner. There's no stitching under the sheep, but there will be. And then I just need to concentrate on this side of the quilt. So it is definitely coming along. Will it be done by Thursday, which is when I am taking it to the class that I am teaching? Maybe, but probably not. It is slow stitching. The whole idea of the slow stitching is that you mindfully stitch and meditate while you're doing that. So to hurry along to finish it sort of defeats the whole purpose of slow stitching. So I have to say, all in all, it was a very good week. Now, if you're curious on how that machine quilting went, well, you're going to have to hang around and check my next video that'll be coming out in the next day or so, where I continue that entire saga, start to finish. Was it a success or a failure? Until next week, I'm Stacy. Bye.